Hello and welcome. I am Curtis Morrison, and you're joining us for episode 24 of Let's Talk Immigration, our first episode where we actually had music interlude going into the show. We'll probably get in trouble for that. Okay, so a few things I wanted to talk about today, and then we will go to the question and answer section of the live. If you have a question, go to YouTube or Facebook or Telegram to ask that question, and be sure to identify like the visa category and the context, the information I need to answer the question. Okay. So we'll be collecting questions while I talk about some stuff I wanted to talk about. Okay. A lot of people decide to do I-130 petitions for family reunification, to petition their immediate relatives themselves and not use an attorney. Often this works out. Often it causes many problems and doesn't work out. And I just want to, I ran across a mistake that was made by two of our clients this week. Well, it was made long ago, but it was before they were our clients. And I wanted to make sure you all understand when you're doing these I-130 petitions on your own what the risks are. Okay, so there's a question that says, my beneficiary will, after the petition's approved, send that petition to NVC, the National Visa Center, and the embassy, and he will attend the interview, or she will attend the interview at the consulate. And then there's another box that says adjustment of status, meaning that the beneficiary will come and get the green card in the U.S. After an interview in the U.S. These are two completely different processes, and you can only choose one or the other. What happens is many people completing the I-130 themselves check both boxes. And when they check both boxes, they get a notice after the petition is approved that says, your petition's approved, congratulations. They don't set an interview either at USCIS for adjustment of status or at NVC. They require you to do another form at that point because you didn't follow their instructions. And the processing time for that form, depending on which processing center they send it to, also like a $400 fee. Not exactly I think it's $435 or something. Depending on which processing center they send it to, it's going to take 4 months to 14 months more. Okay, so by choosing to do the I-130 yourself, but then you check this one box by mistake, you have added 4 to 14 months and additional expense to your visa journey. So let that be a warning to everybody who wants to do the I-130 themselves. Either you have to be extremely careful and do a lot of research to know what you're doing, or you're really running the risk of some bad outcomes and further delays. Okay, I got that off my chest. Second thing I wanted to talk about is Diversity Visa 2023 selectees that are in administrative processing. That means you were selected for the DV lottery, you got a 2NL, you went to the interview, everything was going great, consular officer said it was great, and then after the interview, you did not get a visa as you hoped for the first couple of days. Instead, they send you what's called a DS 5535 form. This is a form where they collect more information from you, like your social media history and your travel history. And after they, and work history, yeah. After they get that information, you just stay in this purgatory, this, it's unclear how long administrative processing for vetting of that form will take. The embassy has no control. It's done in DC. So sometimes people get in and out of it in a few weeks. And other times, let's just say someone hires us about once a week that has been waiting on vetting for that AP process for over a year, sometimes 2, 3. Someone hired me recently that's been waiting since 2019. Okay. So the interview is not a visa. Until that visa is printed in the passport and you use it to enter the US, you're not home free. Okay. So we do mandamus lawsuits for DV 2023 selectees in administrative processing, $4,000 for that, and payable up front, not after you enter the U.S. Okay, so got that? Okay, one more thing I wanted to talk about. My team wanted me to tell people DV 2024. Okay. We know the DV 2024 entries know who they are, but we don't know who the selectees are yet, right? And only 1% of you all will be selected, and then not all selectees will be issued visas. But here's what's important, because this is coming up in a couple weeks that the State Department will release the information on who. Well, they won't release the information. It'll be on the website, the insurance website, of who won, who didn't win. You get to go in there and do your status check. A lot of people make this mistake when they go to log on their DS-260. They enter the wrong birth date. And they do that because they put the month before the year or the year date. They mess up the date, okay? In the United States, dates are month, day, year. The rest of the world, it's day, month, year. You have to be paying attention to the format that the form is asking for. If you make a mistake when you're entering that biographical information, personal information for the DS-260, it will lock you out. And when it locks you out, you have a path ahead, okay? You have to attend an interview at an embassy for them to verify who you are. To do that process, you have to get the embassy to schedule that interview. We're representing a DV 2023 selectee right now that took 6 months and a lawsuit before Ankara did that, right? So this is a very fatal mistake if it's not handled. Okay. Ideally, you don't make the mistake. You're very careful whenever you're entering something on a website. It's not like the bank. Like if you go to log onto your bank website and you enter your password wrong, it locks you out after 3 times, but then you get back in. Kentucky Consular Center's computer was like the first computer from the 1990s. It's not like that. Okay. So you have to go through this process. It's not always easy to make a trip to an embassy just to get this PIN. Okay, so let's just avoid this whole process by everybody. DV 2024 selectees, don't get in a hurry. Breathe after you are selected. Okay, and be extra cautious and do not make mistakes on your biographical information when you're trying to access your DS-260 application. So I talked about that. Update on my asylum seeker versus Johnson group lawsuit for the victims of the ICE data breach. We've had a few developments. This week, we filed our opposition to the government's motion to dismiss. There was a group called IRLI, which is a hate group that's associated with FAIR that asked the court for permission to file an amicus brief, which is a friend of the court brief, to so they could explain this legal position. And their legal position was that the Constitution does not apply to foreign nationals that are located in the United States that are detained. It's an insane position. It's not based in law. It's based on what they want the law to be. But I mean, there's cases going back to 1890s that say that even if foreign nationals inside the United States should have constitutional rights. So their position is extreme, and that they are siding with the Biden administration's extreme position that insufficient mitigation is okay. I think that that doesn't hurt us, right? When crazy people want to come sit down beside your opponent, it just makes your opponent look crazy too. So I'm not worried about them. Let me see if there's any other developments. No. I know I'm going to get asked about a million times, like I do every day, about DV 2020 and DV 2021. We do not have an update on the appeals. We're still waiting on the outcome of those appeals. So without further ado, let me jump into questions. Okay. Fatima says, what about DV 2021 and what is our future? Do we have any chance? Okay, Fatima, DV 2021, their journeys are over unless you are a good luck plaintiff or you can benefit from the Ray order. I'm concerned you didn't mention either of those things, good luck or Ray. So you may not have a journey. It depends upon whether or not you can benefit from one of those orders. And if you can, we're waiting on the outcome of the appeal. Okay. Good day. Good day to you. You are already tired to answer our questions. Just want to imagine our percentage participating in the DV. GL, that means good luck. So what he's saying is, what are our chances of winning the appeal, or what are your chances of being issued a visa? Those are two different questions. I don't know how to put a number on chances of winning the appeal. There's 3 judges. We need 2 of them to agree with us on many issues. There's a lot of calculus there if you want to come up with a number. So I just don't know how to put a number on that. But as far as like being issued a visa, if we win the appeal, odds are more than 30% because Judge Mehta reserved 6,914 visas for good luck plaintiffs. And we have about 20,000 good luck plaintiffs. So about a third of them are going to get visas. Many have advantages and disadvantages. Okay. If you're assigned to an embassy that is closed, like Kabul, probably a disadvantage, but possibly an advantage because maybe KCC will let you transfer your interview, whereas they won't let a DV from an embassy that's open transfer theirs. So many factors can play into those odds too. So impossible to calculate, really. Okay. Aziz, hello, Mr. Morrison. I have a child born after DV 2021. She is not a good luck derivative list. Would it be a problem or not if we finally win this case? I wouldn't say a problem, Aziz. It's going to be a challenge. Let's say we beat the appeal, which is great, and then we win summary judgment, which is great, and then you receive a 2NL, which is great. You go to the interview. It's unlikely that the State Department will allow for your child to be a derivative because Judge Mehta, his order is probably going to be interpreted as it reserved visas for good luck plaintiffs, and she's not a plaintiff. It's possible that he interprets the order differently, or State Department interprets the order differently. They definitely have the discretion to do that because look what they did in DV 2022, where they issued more than 55,000 visas. So They have discretion when they want it. So what I was going to say was it would not, I wouldn't use the word problem. It could be a challenge. It could mean that you or your spouse enters the U.S., gets a green card, and then petitions for the child, and also for the parent that didn't come. Ideally, both parents come, and the child stays with the grandparents or the neighbors or something like that for a week. But once one of the parents has a green card, they can file a petition for the child. There's two different ways to do that petition. Direct file at the embassy only works for U.S. citizens, though. So that wouldn't be a way. The second way is I-130. I recommend you use an attorney to represent you for reasons I explained earlier in this episode. But we have helped families come to the U.S. that have faced this hurdle before in DV 2020 and 2021, and actually other years too. It's just it's very unfortunate when part of the families get DVs and the rest of the family doesn't. But if you're patient, there's ways to work around it, right? It's just going to be a challenge. Thank you for the question. Siobhan says, hi, dear. What do you think about good luck? I don't think anything differently about good luck than I have since September. Okay, there's no update on good luck. Waiting on the appeal. What happened? U.S. Embassy Turkey. And that's in Ankara. Thousands of people waiting for interviews. In the last 2 months, no one was called for an interview. DV 2023 winner. Thanks. Okay. This is the section of the episode that we're going to call, is that right? Because I am not sure if that is right. So I'm going to share my screen. This is the Visa Statistics website. Monthly immigrant visas. It said no one was called for DV 2023 winners. Scroll on this website and it's not coming up. Why is that? Okay, I'm going to share my screen differently. How about that? Here's February 2023 visa statistics by posts. And Hadir Razik says Ankara did not issue any DVs. And right here it says Ankara issued 86 diversity visas in February. So I don't think what you're saying is accurate. Ankara is understaffed and there is like a backlog, but they're issuing DVs. That's a myth that they are not issuing any at all. Nader says, I'm a good luck plaintiff applying for a tourist visa. Good luck. Should I state that in the application? Okay. There's a question on the DS-160 for a tourist visa that says, has anyone ever petitioned for you? Technically, a DV is not a petition, but I think it's an ambiguous question, and so you could answer either way. But my preference is that you answer yes, and you put in parentheses, because you get a little box there to explain, you put DV 2021 selectee. Now, don't mention the lawsuit. It's not asking about that. Just put DV 2021 selectee. When you get to the interview, same thing. I was a DV 2021 selectee. Unfortunately, I was not issued a visa in 2021. Okay. What you do not want to do is ever make a misrepresentation to a consular officer or to the State Department, because they are particularly unforgiving of that. And it could cause problems. I've already had more than one good luck plaintiff make themselves ineligible for a good luck visa by making a misrepresentation at an interview for a non-immigrant visa. So use caution and be mindful and thoughtful of what you're saying to a consular officer, because the stakes are very important. You do not want a permanent bar from entering the U.S. just because you didn't answer a question correctly. So if there's a problem with the translation, if your English is your second language, see if there's an interpreter there. Ask them to repeat the question. Very important when you're in an interview at a consulate. If you don't understand the question, make sure you understand it before you answer it. Don't guess. Okay. S. Amanzai says, I have an approved I-130 for my spouse, and now we have a newborn child. I added my child to the application and is under review. Do I need to pay for my spouse and then for my child when approved? I assume that means you're a green card holder, or they would not have let you. I don't know the status of the petition, whether it's already approved or if you're at NVC. You would not need to pay USCIS anymore, because it's the petition's 535, no matter how many derivatives. So answer to your question depends upon where the file is. I don't know if the I-130 has been approved yet. Well, I think I answered the question, though. You don't have to pay more USCIS more. You have to pay more to the State Department. You need a DS-260 for, application fee for each applicant. Anyone ever filed an immigration petition on your behalf with U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services? I don't know if I understand the question. I was born in the United States, so nobody would have filed a petition for me to come here because I was here. I filed a petition for my spouse, but I'm not sure if that's what the question is. I may have understood this. Oh, you're talking about, you're not asking me the question. You're saying that's the question on the DS-160. I agree, that's the question. And if you were a DV winner, I recommend saying yes and putting, yes, I was a DV winner. Abdu says, hello, I'm an alien. Body green, covering eyes. I think you tried to use a little emoji and it didn't work. I'm sorry. So what he's talking about, U.S. immigration law refers to non-citizens as aliens. It's a little crazy, and there's talk about fixing that, but it requires changing a lot of paperwork, and so it's not been done. And plus, Republicans like it, They think it's dehumanizing. I don't know how to say that word. Humanizing? Humanizing? I don't know. Okay. Andre says, the expedited appeals for DV 2020-2021 has taken so long. I wonder what normal appeals would look like. The wait is exhausting. Normal appeals take years. It's not just the expedited or not expedited part, too. An important factor on how long an appeal takes is whether or not the issues involved are simple or complex. The statement of issues for the DV cases that have been appealed put forth legally complex issues, okay, based upon not what you're thinking when you read them, but based on U.S. case law. It says yes. And okay. So how did that question get there? I must have missed it, and my team put it there. What are the chances the Biden administration will withdraw the appeal so the decision could be faster? I am no longer hopeful for that. I did run a little bit of a campaign around the holidays trying to get Secretary Blinken to do it. I couldn't get anybody's attention to even entertain me. The only people that liked my tweet were the DVs, so I don't think the chances are very good. The Biden administration enjoys throttling illegal immigration because their focus is on tourists and students because they think that that's good for our economy. So there you go. Oh, another question I think I missed. What exactly has been made from September 2022 for DV 2020 and DV 2021? Most important, what's the result of your work? This is a question from YouTube. Okay, I will answer this. You're talking from September 2020, for the 3 years, 2020, 2021, 2022. Okay, first of all, literally thousands of diversity visa selectees are living in the US with green cards as a result of our work. That's the first thing. And that's an important thing. They're not here watching this channel. They're at Disneyland. They're at the mall. They're at McDonald's. They're enjoying American life. Okay. So that's the first thing that we accomplished. The second thing that we accomplished is we got 2 federal judges to reserve unused visas for future issuance, Judge Mehta and Judge Chutkan. Now, that's DV 2021 and DV 2022. At this point, those victories have been appealed by the Biden administration, so we're still fighting. So it's still pending. We still have not realized the gains that we got done there. I would say there's a third accomplishment that's a very important accomplishment, and that is we have put the State Department on notice that they cannot treat DVs like animals. I mean, they have to treat them like humans with dignity and follow their rules and not pretend like the visa category doesn't exist. Okay. I have a feeling that DV 2023 is not going to face the same challenges that we faced in 2020 and 2021, just based on what we saw in 2022. What I mean is, in 2022, we saw the State Department realize, okay, we have to issue all these visas because if we don't, we are going to lose lawsuits. And so they didn't lose lawsuits in 2022. Instead, they issued a lot of visas, which was great. That's what we want. Okay. So in 2023, I'm expecting and hoping that we'll see the full allotted number of visas issued. And that's a result of our work from 2020 to 2021. I hope that makes sense. We do have some more questions. Someone on my team has decided that they're better at selecting questions, so that's good. One last thing for me to do. We wish you and all the people all over the world happy Eid al-Fitr. Happy Eid al-Fitr. Also, for those who I haven't said this to, Happy New Year in Nepal. It's the year 2080 in Nepal. They are ahead of all of us, right? But anyway, I saw some photos that you shared with me of the celebrations, and it looked really fun. Having orange paint and stuff on your face and stuff. A lot of fun. So anyway, Happy New Year. So the person selecting the questions is going to need to select another question. Oh, thank you. Okay. I don't understand the government's position on DV reservation of visas. they talk about Congress and separation of power, but if a president issues 1182F order, then he don't respect Congress. Well, Congress passed 1182F is Congress law. So Congress gave the president the authority to suspend entry of non-citizens in the U.S. What 1182F does not do is it does not give the president the discretion or the authority to suspend issuance of visas. And that's one reason why we were victorious in our Mohammed Fong John Kennedy Gomez DV 2020 case, DV 2021 Good Luck and Ray cases. The Judge Chutkan and Judge Mehta both agreed with us that 1182F is a bar on entry, not a bar on issuance. So I hope that just that explanation should demonstrate that while the appeal is a little confusing. I hope it helps. Oh, yeah. Do I agree with those who think that there is some kind of systemic discrimination of DV program, that they think that there is a lot of fraud with it? It seems like that's a two-part question, and that makes it a little confusing. There is these, that what you're saying there is not disputed, actually. The State Department treats diversity visa selectees differently, and they always have. And the original cause of that was fraud. It was when the DV program was rolled out in the late 90s and early 2000s. It was a process before they figured out how to ensure that people don't trick the system. And still today, people will try fraud things, right? Which reminds me, for all you DV 2024 winners that are about to learn you're winners, do not share your confirmation numbers with anybody, okay? Because once they get out, you never know who's going to use them to access your application and pretend like they're you and come to the USA pretending to be you. You don't want that. Okay. Oh, Elena says she loves me so much. You're welcome. Thank you, Elena. Suleiman says, any updates about Gomez DV 2020 receiving the 9,000? Nope. We have to wait for the outcome of the appeal. Okay, we got a follow-up question on Ankara. Thousands of people waiting for interviews in the last months, especially March and April. No one has received an interview appointment by DV lottery winners. No one? I don't have the website handy. I don't know that if it was no one. But if it was no one, that's possible. Ankara is an embassy that's not doing its full potential for sure. So I don't control what Ankara does. Okay. Benjamin says, hang on. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. So thank you for all the great questions. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up a little early today because I just have a lot of work to do, and so does my team. So thank you for the questions. Look forward to seeing you next week for episode 25. Until then, have a good week.